2,000 years ago, the island world of the Pacific was uninhabited. The forefathers of today's islanders lived near the coast of southeastern Asia. Massive movements of peoples from the interior of Asia pushed these Stone Age islanders into the sea. Those who were dispossessed set out in small, separate parties into the unknown Pacific, seeking land. Without instruments, they sailed their canoes for thousands of miles in search for a land they did not know, but hoped to find. Most of the explorers must have perished at sea. Fortunate ones found the tiny scattered islands of the Marianas, the Carolines, the Marshalls, the Gilberts, the island world of Micronesia. There they settled, planted crops, and multiplied. But the migration continued until again population pressure drove some to move on into the Pacific, on to Polynesia. Others stayed behind, and their descendants today occupy the far-flung Caroline Islands. In the eastern Carolines, a vast, empty sea whose occasional tiny islands are so unimportant to the world that their very names are unknown, is the atoll of Mokil. Mokil consists of 3 islets set on a coral reef. The total land surface is some 300 acres, little more than that of a good-sized golf course, and nearly all the land is less than 15 feet above sea level. Yet today, 1,000 years or more after its discovery, 425 people gain their whole livelihood from this tiny atoll and the surrounding sea. And no longer can people move on to discover new lands.
Our land came from under the water. For thousands of years, the little coral animals have lived here and died, as we too live and die here. The coral formed our land and built our reef. And within this reef, we found shelter from the open sea. We live on the reef as well as on the land, for here there are many fish to be caught. We must cross the barrier reef to reach our village. We live close together in our village. Our canoe houses are built along the edge of the lagoon away from the ocean. Canoe houses to protect our canoes from the burning sun, but also places to live, to work, and to sleep. Every family on Mokil owns its own canoe house. Our children are many, and each year their numbers increase until sometimes we wonder where they will find room. Our land is so small. They swim as early as they learn to walk, and there is no moment when they start to sail. Abraham has brought home the deep sea meat, the bonito. The breadfruit is ripe, ready for harvest. and the king and queen gather their own. Breadfruit and taro. These are the two chief foods of our land. Grass must be brought to fertilize the taro patch. Breadfruit and other fruit grow in the coconut forest and don't require much care. But taro, our food of honor, the sacred food of feasts, is hard to cultivate. That muck is the labor of many generations. We have to build the taro land, bringing loam and grass to the swamp, or even digging out the rocky soil that we may have more and more taro, for the need is great. Few of us own enough taro land. The man who owns much taro land is a big man. Bila cuts off the taro root and puts back the stem to grow again. Most of our food comes from the land or the sea. But sometimes we hunt the tern in the forest. This is the only thing we hunt. We use the sticky sap of the breadfruit tree to catch the bird. That's Purnell bleeding the tree. He has picked a young tree fresh with sap. He knows every tree, every plant on Mokil, when it took seed and when it will give fruit. No one knows the trick of catching the tern better than Purnell. Purnell and Ruth are thickening the glue. They cool the glue with bits of coral. Now the glue is strong, ready for the stake. Watch your stick. We do not always catch the tern for food. Sometimes we take them when they are young and give them to the children for pets. Everyone in the village bathes morning and evening. During the trade winds, there is little rain to be caught, and it is then that we must use the brackish water of our shallow wells. The children are in the way. They share the way. There are almost more children than grown-ups. How do we bring them up? During a year or two, while they're at the breast, we give them everything. But then one day we take them from the breast and give them things to do. They cry, they have tantrums. So it must be. We accustom them to the hard work of our people. Scissors cuts paper. Paper covers stone. Stone breaks scissors, foreign games. The children take care of the children. They play and work and share in the work. Play and work stream together. Coconut, that's the king, because that's the thing we trade. It has many uses, and we plant it wherever it will grow. The water of the green coconut is good to drink. Its flesh is tender food, food for our young. We use the ripe coconut too. We cook with the cream pressed from the flesh of the ripe coconut. It is poured over the breadfruit to give it flavor. Even our chickens and pigs feed on the coconut. We are close to the land, for the land gives us food and shelter, and from early childhood we learn the way of the land. How to take the sugar from a coconut tree, how to make a basket from a coconut frond. Each morning and evening, Purnell gathers the juice of the coconut bud from which he makes molasses to sweeten his food. Among us, everyone can do many things, and there is men's work, women's work, and children's work. The man who has skill, isn't he a big man, one to honor? But we take our skill for granted, and if a man has no land, he is not a big man. We have lost many things of the early days. Our religion has come to us from across the sea. We no longer have art, and our music is that of the missionaries. But what may be done by skill and industry, that you will find on Mokil. That is our life, the life we know. This bud can no longer produce coconut, but we need the molasses, and Purnell, as every other man on Mokil, must sacrifice the coconut from one or more trees if he is to have the sweet juice for his food. Ruth is cutting down the big fruit of the pandanus. So it is. We go into the forest with nothing, and by hard labor and the many skills of Mokil,